All right. Second Saturday game of the triple-header, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. Well, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. It's going to be great. Colts favored by 1.5 here. Because the odds are in our favor that a couple 7-6 teams will play each other because everybody's 7-6. That's what we have here. 7-6 Steelers and the 7-6 Indianapolis Colts. What are you looking for in this game?
We're getting another Trubisky game, right?
Mitchell Trubisky is back.
Mm-hmm.
The fans were calling for Mason Rudolph.
Yes, they were.
Who I believe, I said this about Nick Foles a couple years ago, the best third-string quarterback in the NFL, Mason Rudolph.
How down bad do you have to be chanting Mason Rudolph?
I have to say, I thought Trubisky would play better than he did.
Yeah.
I really did. I mean, based off what we'd seen with him in Pittsburgh, the very little that we saw at the end of the Arizona game. And look, I know New England's got a pretty good defense, and they're underrated despite having only 3 wins. But Trubisky, he's just been look, I'm not saying he's great. I thought he'd play a little bit better because there's some volatility to him. He was a tick late on a few throws, a couple turnover-worthy plays, but he had been at least sprinkling in big-time throws in his limited starts in Pittsburgh and getting the ball down the field to some of their playmakers and work in the middle of the field. And we just didn't see enough of that. So I think he still has that in him, but I'm, far less excited about Trubisky. And I wonder if it will be actually a short leash for Trubisky in this game. They're going to give him one more week of full practice, right? Because it was a short week, Thursday game, maybe a week of full practice. That's what the Steelers are banking on here.
Yeah, and the Colts don't have as good a defense as New England, but they do have a pretty nasty pass rush that can cause some problems. So it won't be an easy game, I wouldn't have thought, for Trubisky. So absolutely, I would say it has to be a pretty short leash because they do have a viable alternative, right? It's not like some of these other teams where you're like, okay, I don't want to play this guy. On the other hand, he's clearly better than the alternative option that I have, so I kind of have to. They can go to Rudolph, I would imagine, without expecting much of a downturn if Trubisky isn't playing well.
Best third stringer in the league.
Yeah. TJ Watt cleared from his concussion protocol and the whole drama surrounding that. I mean, he got kneed in the face by Zeke Elliott pretty early in that game. So he got checked out for concussion, went back in the game, had to put a darker visor on during the game, which is obviously a pretty big red flag for, light sensitivity, which is a concussion symptom. Didn't do his post-game interviews because of a migraine, quote unquote. That feels like that shouldn't happen anymore, given the measures in place to prevent those things happening.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand how that gets through. We all saw him get kicked in the head and come up woozy, right?
Yeah. Plus those other things,
If he's cleared to play.
I mean, he didn't personally go out there with a screwdriver and change his visor, right? At the point where he was asking somebody for a darker tint, that should have removed him from the game.
Somebody's like, oh, it's a night game. Of course, the lights are really bright tonight. Of course you need a darker visor. That's why. So if he is going to be playing, it looks like Braden Smith, the right tackle for the Colts, questionable here, which puts my friend Blake Freeland in there to start.
Your friend.
I mean,
the model says yes, the heart says no.
That's correct. He's played better in recent weeks when he's been starting. He was started the last couple games, pass pro. He's just got 1, 2, 3 pass protection games under a 40 PFF grade. He's very athletic and just not ready to pass protect in the NFL, I don't think. So it could be a huge advantage.
When do we get Jared Veldheer? Did you see this? Jared Veldheer signed for the Colts on their practice squad.
What?
Yeah. Jared Veldheer.
Why does he keep coming back?
Well, for more to the point, have you seen a picture of him recently?
No.
Like the last couple of times I had seen Jared Veldheer, it was about surrounding some like initiative he was doing with school lunches or that kind of thing, right? And he's in the category of those linemen that have lost like 100 pounds since playing, right? Like Jared Veldheer is one of those guys where you look at him like, dude, how much weight has that guy lost? Okay, those articles were a while ago, but he would have needed to put on 60 pounds to be in NFL playing shape from the last time I saw him. So I have no idea what state he's in at the moment, but that's a wild signing given those photographs.
I don't know how many of our listeners know who Jared Veldheer is.
Okay.
He's 6'8". He was like a big center, D3. Was he D3?
something.
Like a small school center turned NFL tackle who had a nice little run with the Raiders at tackle.
Yes, also played with the Cardinals. But he's also, one of the reasons you should know him is he's part of one of the most comical photographs in NFL history of just like absurdly jacked human beings. Like, who is it? Laurent Landry has that one picture where he's like just, supplemented out of his gills, right? Just looks like an absolute monster.
Now you're making accusations.
No, supplements. I didn't say they were perfectly legal.
Supplements. Okay, got it.
Jared Veldheer is another one where he just looks like an absolute like Marvel character standing next to a bunch of normal human beings. So he's got that picture, which you can find if you Google, or the show will throw it up right now because we got awesome people. That's him on the left there.
Wow.
And then the people on the right are normal people. So he looked like an absolute lunatic, freak show, Marvel superhuman. But then the last time I saw him...
He might not have a big impact on the game we're talking about, though.
No, the last time I saw him, he looked like he's carrying less weight than you are.